And joining me now from Iqaluit is our own Kent Driscoll. Hello, Kent.
Hello, Rick. Happy New Year.
Thank you very much. You too. So let's look ahead to this upcoming year by wondering if there's anything hanging around from last year, that is 2017, that you expect to see come back in the new year.
Well, Rick, there are only two jurisdictions in the country that haven't decided what they're going to do with the federal marijuana legislation, Saskatchewan and Nunavut. And for Nunavut, it is a bit of a thorny issue. You see, the issue isn't the desire for legalization. The government ran a plebiscite about that at the end of last year, and 3/4 of respondents said, yes, they're in favor of some sort of legalized marijuana sales. Now, the thing is, they haven't put the legislation in to allow for this to happen. And I asked the government about this just before Christmas, and they didn't have a firm timeline in place. The session starts up again in March, and this new government will have to have a plan in place by then. Now, the interesting thing, Paul Quassa, when he was running for premier just back in November, was asked about this during that process. And what he said is he would favor a regime that mirrors what we have for our alcohol regime, which means you're setting up a three-tiered system where a community can decide on their own whether they have no marijuana, marijuana approved by a committee of elders, or a complete wide-open system like we would have in here for Iqaluit for alcohol. So the other side of this coin is Nunavut-Tungavik Incorporated. Now, Nunavut-Tungavik, they're the land claims organization that's responsible for the Nunavut Agreement. They have come out from their annual general meeting opposed to the entire idea of marijuana legalization. So that's a political fight that's spoiling to happen absolutely on the floor of the Assembly. Now, all three of Nunavut's regions are expecting to hold consultations this year, but whether that can happen in time for the proposed Canada Day launch, that's still very much up in the air.
So, Kent, what else do we have to look forward to in terms of stories from Nunavut?
Well, Nutrition North is bound to resurface, Rick. That was a major issue for the previous Conservative government, and it sort of lay fallow under the Liberals. But when you consider just how often the Liberal Party of Canada complained about Nutrition North when they were in opposition, it seems only a matter of time before that would be coming up again. Now, the Liberals campaigned on a very specific promise to fix Nutrition North, not to repeal it. They want to fix the existing program. And what they've done is they've added 37 communities to the list of communities that are eligible under the program. But many would argue here in Nunavut that you're taking a broken program and expanding it to more communities isn't necessarily going to help anything. Now, Hunter Tutu, when he was running for the Liberal Party, was following very much that same party line, but since he was elected, he was removed from the Liberal Party and the caucus and now sits as an independent. And back in December, he was questioning Carolyn Bennett about this issue in the House of Commons. He had said the last time he asked, he was told something would happen soon, and that was in May. So he's asking this question in December. And Bennett's response was, quote, "It's completely unacceptable that many Northerners are still struggling to feed their families," which sounds an awful lot like what the Conservatives used to say when Dr. Bennett was asking them those questions. So the major question we're left with Nutrition North is, a reformed Nutrition North, what does that look like? Who does it help? What are the goals in place? The one thing the Liberal government has put through is expanded provisions for country food. That's basically food that you hunt. And that's been well received, but for the rest of it, it's still very much up in the air, Rick.
All right, Kent, thank you very much for this update.
Oh, thank you, Rick. Koyanamik.